Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours, and it is a globe. Welcome to Real News Live. This is a special Thursday edition with Diana and Kristen from MikeBaraPets.com. Hello, ladies, out in Boulder City. How you doing, girls?
Doing well.
Fantastic.
So they are here today to talk about these really super cool different products for pets and for people. These are the ones for people. Mushroom-based products that they've been kind enough to sponsor the Real News Live podcast and stuff, which I really, really appreciate. And I am not only they're not only a sponsor, I'm also going to be a victim. No, I'm going to be a participant. As you guys know, probably know, I've had this horrible sinus infection for like a month since before Christmas, off and on. I think it's finally whipped. Tomorrow I finish my antibiotics, and then I'm going to start on a very heavy protocol of the Coriolis versicolor mushrooms, which is an immune system booster, and then the Restore to help liver support, liver function, and pancreas. And I do have a little bit of high blood sugar, so one of the things that prednisone does, which is the only thing that seems to be clearing up mine, is it raises your blood sugar. So I'm going to be really interested next time I take my A1C when I'm on that to see how much lower it is, and I expect it to be lower. So appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here, whether you're on Rumble or you're here on the YouTube channel, and we're going to leave these up. Obviously, this is not a video we have to delete. It's not controversial politically, unless getting healthy is controversial. So, ladies, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can talk about what's going on with the MikeBaraPets products. Do your presentation, and then we'll take questions and answers afterwards.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the platform, but also we want to wish you and your brother Dave a happy birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
I appreciate that. It is our birthday tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Yay.
I'll be 46 tomorrow.
Okay, I believe that. So since we were on last time with you, we've had so many of your viewers contact us, and they've reached out for help with their pets or themselves, or in a lot of cases, their friends. You've got such a caring community and audience, and I've had a lot of fun, having emails back and forth with them. I have a few testimonials. Testimonials are always fun. First of all, last night, Laura was talking about her kitty seems to be perking up since she's had her kitty on super sauce. So we're excited to hear that, Laura. And we want to keep getting updates on how Kitty is doing.
And not to interrupt again, but I've been giving Barkley I'll go get them so I can show them the Mojos and the Mush Puppies. And he's like an insane 2-year-old dog instead of an insane 12-year-old dog. He just wants to have his toys tossed like all night long, and he was not doing that before we got him on those treats.
That's great testimonial. That's what we love to hear. We have another great one on Tigger. Paula had sent this in. Paula has really struggled with her animals. Tigger was really, really sick. When she first gave Tigger the super sauce, Tigger had a little bit of a relapse, which we think was probably a detox situation. And she said, I'm happy to tell you that she's gone several days without any relapses. And she really appears to be recovering completely from all the things that she's been suffering in. She's gained a full pound as of 2 days ago, and she's acting normal. As a matter of fact, I can't even find her anymore. When she was sick, she would stay with me all the time. Now she's out roaming around, and I just love the sauce. We give it to her in a syringe because we had to force feed her, but I'm saying it's a magic potion. So I love this. Keep those testimonials coming. We love to hear when our animals are doing better. So today we're going to introduce you to the product line. Our pets are dying at early ages. They're dying from things like cancer, diabetes. 50% of all dogs that die in a veterinarian's office die from cancer. When we were kids, when I was a kid, I'm a lot older than all of you, but we never had a dog that had cancer. We never had a dog with diabetes. Are you kidding me? Our Labrador retrievers lived until they were 16, 17. Now they're dying at 8 and 9. So, we really believe in our mission that we have. We're redirecting money from big pharma, which has not only infiltrated the human medical industry, but it's taken hold of the pet industry. Our pets are on more medications than ever. 34% of the veterinarian's income comes from the sale of pharmaceutical drugs. I was working with a pup recently that was on 10 medications, including Prozac. Through work with a holistic vet, we are not veterinarians, through just looking at the product line that we have, we were able to get this pet off of all medications except 2. And the pet mom is really happy because she has an extra $200 in her pocket. But we wanted to redirect the money from big pharma. We wanted to help pets and animals, but we wanted to do this naturally. And I will tell you, this has been the most gratifying mission that I've ever been on in my life. I'm just so happy to be doing this. So we're doing this through healthy products, mostly through a mushroom and a process that's called immunomodulation, which Kristen's going to get into in a couple minutes. This can help animals and humans with the smallest of conditions to the most catastrophic conditions. It's the Coriellus versicolor mushroom with PSP and PSK. It's not just everyday turkey tail. It's for pets and people. This strain is the most studied strain. It's proprietary to our product and has over 400 medical studies from institutions like MD Anderson, Sloan Kettering, Harvard, Yale, to just name a few. So our product line is divided into a few areas: mushrooms, minerals, and nutrition. And Kristen's going to cover the mushroom line and the immune system. So yeah. Kristen.
Absolutely. Thanks, Janet. The reason that we've been getting so many wonderful stories and experiences from people that are trying these products is because mushrooms are incredible. There's a really good documentary actually that you can watch called Fantastic Fungi, which is fascinating. I absolutely loved it. And it goes into how essential mushrooms are for life on Earth, or really for life anywhere. And so that's why it's so important. And that's why it's so critical that we're rediscovering the power of mushroom today. We've known this for thousands of years. This is something that we've traditionally used in ancient cultures to keep the immune system strong, because it is the body's first defense, not only for humans, but also for animals. It's our armor. It literally protects us from foreign invaders. It course corrects everything that's happening in the body. It repairs and recovers. The body can actually do surgery on itself, which is incredible the more that you learn about it. So when you understand how critical the immune system is and how important and how equipped it actually is to do the majority of what the body needs, then you'll really understand the importance of feeding it the proper food to keep it supported so that it can do what it was designed to do. It's in the DNA blueprint for it to do. And so we take this mushroom, like Diana mentioned, that has hundreds of studies that have been done on this particular strain. It is the most potent strain. We extract it in a very specific proprietary way where we're able to get both the PSP and PSK, which are just the polysaccharide components of the mushroom. And that's what actually supports and feeds the immune system, so the immune system can function optimally. And it's really incredible. The more that we're learning about mushrooms in general, I mean, I'm about to get a little bit nerdy, but the way that mushrooms communicate, not only with themselves, but they communicate with other species and organisms and plants, and they're very similar to the structure of the human body, actually, cellularly. And a lot of people are calling it a galactic mushroom because of its ability to communicate. And they think that it's been used to help create the consciousness that we're experiencing and communicate between the consciousnesses of all of these different types of life that we have here. It's really fascinating. So
sorry to interrupt you, Kristen. That is really amazing, because I know so many people that use different types of mushrooms to try to alter their consciousness. I mean, certainly we know about the hallucinogenic mushrooms. I have a couple friends who think it saved their lives to go into this experience. So it's interesting that there's also this other physical connection. So that piece was fascinating. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's true, and the more that they're learning, they're finding it's not only functioning within our dimension, but interdimensionally. It can communicate interdimensionally. Anyway, that's a whole other show. That's like truly fascinating. And when you begin to understand these this is very basic information that for whatever reason we haven't known for a very long time, that we're just finally rediscovering. And when you begin to learn these things, a lot of things start making sense, you know, with where we're going and where everything's going, and, you know, everything happening quantumly. But regardless of all of that, sorry, I went on a little tangent there. But when you begin to understand all of that and you really learn how things are all working together perfectly and intelligently, then you understand the importance of getting the mushroom into the system. So strain definitely matters. Just like, you know, for example, here in Las Vegas, they sell sushi at the gas station. Now, I wouldn't eat gas station sushi in the same way why I wouldn't use a product that I don't know has been tested, that the due diligence wasn't done, that I don't know what the results have been or the reviews or what people have been finding. So not only do we have these hundreds of studies to back up and support what this mushroom's doing for the body, like researchers way more intelligent than any of us probably on this podcast, but we also have the stories and the testimonials, countless testimonials of what people are experiencing. And within the animals especially, they're responding so quickly. Most people notice within about a week or so. I'm sure you noticed, it's just about a week. They start acting like a puppy or a kitten again, or, you know, the horse is running around or putting on weight, whatever it might be, it's happening relatively quickly.
It was about the fourth day, and I realized what the hell has gotten into Barkley. And then I remembered, you know, I'm giving him the mojos and I'm giving him the mush puppies, and he's like a puppy again. So it took about 4 or 5 days.
It's extraordinary. And we always encourage people, because they ask for very specific things like, will it help with this or will it help with that? And that's just because we've been conditioned to treat symptoms, and we've been conditioned to treat conditions that we've been told that we have or that our pets have. And that makes sense. But what's great about this food is that it just feeds the immune system, and then the immune system goes in and manages the symptoms or addresses the condition right at the source that the pet or the animal or the person is experiencing. So if we can just get the immune system the support that it needs, it can do all of these things for the body. So like Diana was saying, we have found fun and interesting ways that are not only fun and enjoyable for your pet, but also more fun and enjoyable for you. Because I know Diana's little Cody, before he gets a treat, he dances around in a little circle. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. He really enjoys getting his supplements. So we bake them into dog biscuits. They're called the mush puppies. If you have a dog with more severe conditions, or maybe a larger dog, we have a higher strength biscuit called the Mush Puppies Plus that are supercharged with extra mushroom in it, because this mushroom is just a food. It doesn't interact with any medications or treatments. It doesn't have any side effects. Your pet can't overdose. They can't get addicted. As a matter of fact, the more that you give them, the quicker, the better it is for their body, because it really wakes up that immune system and allows it to go in and start doing all the things that it's been wanting to do all along. But it's been completely compromised, mostly environmentally, from the different chemicals and just all of the things that we're experiencing and our pets are experiencing environmentally. So we have those options available for dogs. We also bake it into horse cakes for horses called the mush ponies. We've had incredible experiences with horses with Cushing's and malnutrition and malabsorption problems. And there's this horrible HPV virus that was going around in a horse stable, and the horses were unfortunately passing away. We started getting them on the mush ponies, and then the rest of the horses survived. So we're seeing all kinds of different wonderful things with that as well. We also added into a handmade gravy for dogs and cats called the Super Sauce. And this has additional vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in it. And I think that the most important thing to mention right now is a lot of us understand the importance of being more natural and addressing these issues and these concerns naturally. And we're going to the stores and we're buying a lot of products that we think are good for our pets. But unfortunately, most of the products in the big box stores are developed synthetically. They a lot of times have fillers in them. So it's really hard to, especially for your pets, to get them products that have naturally sourced supplements and that are using whole human grade foods in human kitchens to provide it for your pet. So one rule that we have is if it's not something we're willing to eat ourselves or put in our own mouth, we don't give it into their pet, or we don't give it to our pets. That's how much we should trust these brands. Now, like you mentioned for Barkley, we also have the Mojos for any carnivore. So dogs, cats, rats, ferrets, love the Mojos. And those are pieces of hand-cut beef liver with the Coriolis versicolor mushroom as well. So there's additional vitamins that the beef liver provides for our pets. So those are the different options we have for animals. But a lot of us were seeing what was happening with our animals, and we were wondering, well, what about us? Like, is this safe for humans? Can we take this as well? And we're happy to say that, again, hundreds of those studies have been done on the human response. And so they made this same strain available for people as well that they can get from your website, MikeBaraPets. So any humans that are dealing with conditions or symptoms that they really like to get that immune support and see how their body can handle it and what their immune system is capable of doing when it's working optimally, they can get the capsules. So we have the Enforce capsules, which is what you showed. These are also great because you can pop them open and there's a powder inside. So you can mix it with applesauce or a smoothie. If your pet's on a special diet, you can mix it in with their food. Great for all different types of things. We have the Enforce Plus, which is an upgraded version of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, where we add a little bit of reishi mushroom as well. And the reishi mushroom is really helpful for lowering the blood sugar levels, managing blood pressure. It helps positively impact the digestive system because it's an alkalinic mushroom. And if you have children, or if you yourself want a special treat and you don't necessarily like to take pills, but you want to get the mushroom, we also have our mini bags of the chocolate chip cookies. Ridiculously delicious.
Really good.
They're so good.
Maybe that's what I need to be on, is the plus version of this, because I do have some blood pressure and blood sugar issues. So if it really helps, I'm gonna have to get me some of that too. So,
I'll bring you some.
yeah.
And you can look up the reishi mushroom and you can see all of the different things that the reishi mushroom does for the body.
Actually, there's a lady who I run into when I'm walking Barkley in the morning. She walks her dog, and she was trying to I would mention this stuff to her, and she was trying to tell me all about the reishi mushroom. So it's cool that you also include that. She's pretty smart. So I think maybe she'll sign up to get some of this stuff.
Absolutely. That's very wise of her. And it's important, especially in mycology. The American mind says, well, why take one mushroom when I can take this mushroom blend of 12 mushrooms in one? And I understand the thought process behind it, but in mycology, it's so important that you understand that mushrooms have very specific purposes and they do very specific things. They react in certain ways with the body. And they're very good at what they do. So when you unfortunately are mixing a whole bunch of mushrooms together, not all mushrooms play well together. Some actually counteract each other's efforts, which completely neutralizes the product in the first place. If you have one mushroom that's specifically for detoxing and you're taking it at the same time as another mushroom that's, let's say, the reishi mushroom that's supporting the body and creating an alkalinic environment, it's going to detox that mushroom. And so it's just going to completely neutralize the effects of it. So our mycologist has worked very diligently to not only get the best strains of these different mushrooms that are the purest and the most potent strains, we extract them in the perfect way to get the most efficacy out of it. But on top of that, these mushrooms actually complement each other and work well together. So every person should, and even animals, should at least be on the Coriolis versicolor mushroom every single day. We should be eating this mushroom, putting it into our systems. And then if you want to have a more targeted approach or help specifically support certain areas, then you can add like the Restore mushroom, which is the maitake mushroom that you held up, that red bottle, which is helpful for liver and pancreas support. So you'll take the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, and then you'll also take the maitake mushroom together with it, which will work together synergetically and will actually help compound the effect of it. Yes, that one right there.
Awesome. And then coffee.
Oh my goodness, the coffee, the coffee. You gotta try the coffee. It is so delicious. I don't know if you've tried mushroom coffees or like coffee alternatives that have the mushrooms in them, but they're not very palatable.
Right.
That's the most polite way that I can put
You
it.
can make a mushroom Dr. Pepper on
I
it.
know. We've been working on that one for you.
Yeah, we'll call it Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
But but this coffee is not only more delicious, like it's very fresh, it's freshly roasted and ground within the week of you ordering it. So there's no mold in it. There's none of those synthetics in it. It's just a very good, delicious coffee that also is healthy for us because it has the Coriolis versicolor mushroom in it. So what I've noticed is I don't get that jittery feeling anymore when I drink this coffee. I don't get that acidic feeling in my stomach. It actually feel more alert and I feel more clarity in my mind.
Yeah.
When I drink this coffee, I don't get like that foggy feeling like I used to get, or that buzzing one. So it's a delicious option as well. And I mean, for it, one bag makes 80 cups of 4-ounce coffees. So for 50 cents a cup, you can't really beat having a better coffee than that.
Yeah, and someone had just asked us to address the veterinarian advice that has always said that mushrooms were toxic to dogs. Yeah. So, yeah, some are toxic to dogs, and then some are toxic because of the environment they're in with the pesticides, the chemicals, the things that are on them. So, yes, it is important that you get the right strain of mushroom and that you're not out there just encouraging your dog to eat any mushroom. Mushrooms that grow in the ground in some cases are actually toxic to us too. So you do have to be careful of that. And, you know, veterinarians have just kind of taken that step of all mushrooms are toxic just to keep people from trying to pick and choose what they have.
And what's really cool, that one of the first things before we even created these products, of course, we did our due diligence and a lot of research just to make sure that they're safe for animals before we're giving them to them. And there was a study that was done by the University of Pennsylvania, their School of Veterinary Care, specifically on the Coriolis versicolor mushroom and what it did in dogs that had hemangiosarcoma. And the dogs with our hemangiosarcoma that were given the Coriolis versicolor mushroom lived twice as long as the dogs with hemangiosarcoma that were not given the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. So not only is it safe for them, but it's been very effective for their bodies. So we're seeing all different types of things: allergies, cancers, tumors, viruses, infections, autoimmune conditions, that once the animal starts getting this mushroom into their system, their own body's able to fight back against those things. And it's fully equipped to do so. We've even seen animals with parasites and worms where the immune system was fully equipped to be able to get those out of the body without any medications or treatments or anything like that. So I appreciate that comment, because you do want to be careful, because not all things are safe for animals because they have a completely different caloric system than humans do.
So we're going to talk a little bit about my story, and then we're going to move into minerals. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2020. I had been a part of this company for a couple of years. I had seen amazing results in animals, and I knew the studies, mushroomstudies.co, had verified that in Japan, this mushroom is used to treat cancer. It is not approved here. Again, we are not medical professionals. I'm just going to tell you my story and what happened to me. Diagnosed with cancer, right in the middle of the pandemic shutdown. No hospital would operate without a board approving you as a life or death case. I had a tumor in my colon. I had nothing in my toolbox except the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. I took 10 a day, which is 5 times the recommended dose, because I knew that there were no side effects. I knew that you couldn't overdose on it, and I was scared. 5 times a day, 30 days go by, I get a call. My doctors had done a great job of getting the board to approve me for surgery, and I was told to go in for pre-op blood work. Went in for pre-op blood work, got a call 24 hours later from the oncology department. I'm in full remission. And I knew that was good news, but I really didn't know what it meant. I mean, oh, that's good. What does that really mean? With my situation, every cancer has a marker. My particular marker was called a CEA marker, and I was off the charts. Healthy is 2.5. I went down to 0.5. Next week, I go in for blood work. I am 4 years. I know my numbers are still 0.5. You know, we know that our world of big pharma, animals and people, they don't want cures. They want customers. We know that. I also did chemotherapy because I couldn't argue with the numbers. people who had done chemotherapy with my type of cancer had a 10% chance of reoccurrence in 5 years. People who hadn't done it had a 40% chance. Sloan Kettering had done an amazing study on how chemotherapy could actually be complemented by the Coriolus versicolor mushroom. As my body was destroying every single healthy cell because of chemo, this mushroom was back there working with my immune system to rebuild. I came through chemo like a champ. I never threw up once. I didn't lose my hair. I actually came through stronger. My bone density improved dramatically during chemo. Go figure. I actually had some bad days. I'm not going to say I didn't. But more so than not, I never threw up once during chemo. Are you kidding me? That's like one of the number one side effects. And I know that it was because of what I was doing with this mushroom and how it affected me. So now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm so thankful to this company for bringing this product to our animals, because what it did for me, in my opinion, is that it saved my life. And if I can be a voice out there telling other people, hey, what could it hurt? I'm living proof of what happened. So I'm going to switch gears, and we're going to move to our mineral supplements and our mineral line. Dogs and cats need minerals. It's really good for their skin, for their bones, for their teeth. It supports their brain. It supports their heart, their kidneys, their eyes, and their liver. We've got a lot of animals on a lot of medications. And if they have been on those medications, their liver and their kidneys have been compromised. The way that we know that an animal is lacking minerals are things like really dull hair, or dry skin scales, or pressure sores, or sometimes even just the loss of hair color. Dogs that are out there licking their paws or having an obsession with rocks. In the wild, they would be out there chewing on tree bark, chewing on antlers, possibly even chewing on rocks or licking rocks. But in the domesticated situation, they're not getting everything they need. And minerals play such a huge role in their overall health. So how do we get minerals into our dog besides their diet? A good, healthy diet, which Kristen's going to talk about, is really important. But we have antlers. I love antlers. So antlers that are natural shed. Kristen's really funny. She never knew that they were natural shed. She was like,
No
what?
idea.
You mean they actually fall off and grow back? So
for those of you that don't know, they have bones that grow outside of their head that fall off every year, and they grow new bones outside of their body. I don't understand.
So these are natural shed. They're picked up in the wild. They're elk antlers, they're deer antlers. And what we do, this is a whole one, and then this is a split. So we split these, well, they can have either, but we split these so that they can get all of this wonderful, amazing, nutritiously filled bone marrow. Dogs love them. But I am going to say it is very important that we supervise the chewing of an antler with the dog, because some dogs are aggressive chewers. My dog will chew this antler until his gums bleed because he loves it so much, and possibly because he needs the minerals that are in there. Cody, my dog, actually almost died because he ate a rock, and the rock was this big and his intestines are this big. So imagine the pain he was in. Kurt and Kristen actually came to say goodbye to him because we thought we were going to lose him. And then we found out that he had a mineral deficiency. We were able to give him an antler split. Remember that they are not processed. They are not bleached. They are not painted like a lot of things out there.
Completely untreated.
Perfectly untreated. And we only use grade A antlers. We now give Cody the whole antler because it's a little harder for him to work through, and it actually lasts a lot longer. But we also have wonderful toys that, like our hemp rope. So, we're giving our dogs these plastic toys, and they're chewing on them, and they're getting little bits and pieces of them that go down into their stomach. They do not digest. They leach poisons into their system. A lot of the toys and treats that we're giving our dogs, if you look at where they're made, your answers will be right there for you. We can't do this to our animals, so let's give them something healthy. It's hemp. If they chew on it, if they digest it, big deal. The stomach's just going to digest it. some people are a little concerned about giving their animals antlers. I was actually concerned that it was going to stain my white furniture. It doesn't, but some people would rather not. So we have baked them into a wonderful treat called Bucky Bites. And everything, as Kristen explained earlier, is all natural. No wheat, no soy, no corn, no preservatives. Everything we do is for the health of our animals. So the Bucky Bites are a great alternative. Cody gets one every day now, just because we never want Cody to go out there and eat another rock. We also have a great little pool toy, which is the hemp rope and an antler. It's really amazing. The dogs love it. And for our kitty cats, like little Miss Muffy, Fluffy Muffy, we have the Nipster. And I forgot to tell you this when I dropped it off for you, Mike. Inside is all this wonderful catnip. So you can put this back in, shake it up, and refresh it. It's got the hemp, and it's got a little bell for them to play with. It's an amazing little toy for our cats. Did little Miss Fluffy Muffy like it?
Well, yeah, I haven't given it to her yet. She's not the most active kitty on the planet. She's right now she's napping. So,
well,
I will give it to her. Yeah.
And it might be fun to video because we might see Fluffy Muffy have some fun.
Oh, so she loves her catnip. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, the minerals are so important, and the treats and toys that we're giving our animals are critical. Kristen and I both have become certified in pet nutrition. And one of the things we want to offer is that I am more than happy to do an analysis of the food that you're feeding and help you choose, what's right, what's not right for your animal. And you can email me at MikeBaraPets@gmail.com, and I'll do that analysis and I'll help you out with your concerns. I'm going to turn it over to Kristen now to talk about nutrition.
Yeah, nutrition is kind of the core of everything. Most of the conditions that our pets are experiencing and dealing with are stemming from exposure to the foods, treats, and toys that they're chewing and ingesting, and how it's creating chaos inside of their bodies. So proper nutrition is really at the core of everything that we're doing, along with the immune support. And most of us, 80% of us, have our pets on a dry food diet. And while it's not the optimal diet, it's just what the majority of us are doing because it's more convenient, it's more affordable. A lot of us, that's all we knew. That's all I fed my pets growing up my entire life. And so it's really, really hard to get a quality kibble today at any of the big box stores because the lower end brands are using genetically modified fillers like sugar, wheat, corn, and soy. They are using tons of chemicals and preservatives in them. On average, from the time that pet food is made to the time that it goes into your home, it's been 3 to 5 years. That's how old that food is. That's how many preservatives are inside of it, or I should say food, right? So it's so important that we're giving them foods that don't have anything synthetic in them, that are baked at very low temperatures, so there are no carcinogens, that are made with human-grade whole foods, that don't have any animal byproducts, which are unclean meat sources that could include euthanized animals, roadkill, and animals that are too sick for human consumption. All get sold to pet food and treat manufacturers at a discount. And it is very loosely regulated, so they don't even have to let anybody know that they're doing this. So we're just encouraging pet parents to really look into the food that you're feeding your pet, because many times that's all they're eating every single day for their whole life, for every single meal, is that little bowl of food that we're giving them. So we not only want to give them something that is better for them, that doesn't have all of those negative ingredients in it that can be toxic for them, but we also want to make sure that they're getting all of the nutritional value that their bodies need from naturally sourced places. And we want to make sure that they're getting additional supplements like prebiotics and probiotics, so that it can help to replenish all that good flora and that good bacteria in their stomach that a lot of them are losing because of all the carcinogens and antibiotics and everything that we have to give them. It takes years to replenish all that good bacteria. So we did work with the most talented pet nutritionists actually in the country. They've been developing formulas for over 30 years now. And out of all of the hundreds of formulas that they've developed, they have not had one single recall. So we're so grateful that we found them, because if we're going to be feeding our pets kibble, we at least want to be able to give them a better kibble that's, even though it's not optimal, it's so much better than anything that we're finding at the stores. So we do have our Sequoia chicken and brown rice food that you can get for them. We also have a grain-free option, which is chicken and sweet potato. Grain-free, there's this whole dilemma going on about how grain-free is bad for pets, and that's not true. As a matter of fact, animals in the wild, dogs and cats and animals in the wild very rarely eat grains, first of all, in the first place. And then secondly, on top of that, the problem is not that the product is grain-free. The problem is that most of these higher end manufacturers that are creating grain-free products are using protein fillers like peas, beans, and lentils added to the food to increase their protein levels. And in high volumes like that, it's too nutritionally dense for them to be able to digest. It's okay in smaller volumes, but when it's in the first 5 ingredients multiple times, it's too nutritionally dense. It stresses their hearts. It causes conditions like DCM. So grain-free inherently is not bad for them. It's just unfortunately the formulations that a lot of companies are doing to create grain-free foods, that's what's creating the problems for them. Now, we also have a canned food for dogs. The Sequoia canned food also has prebiotics and probiotics in it, gives them some variety, also has a much higher moisture content, so it's easier for them to digest. It's better for their bodies. We really recommend that. A lot of great natural minerals in that. And then the optimal diet for our pets is actually, we have a freeze-dried food that it kind of, think of it like an oatmeal. So it's fresh food that's been freeze-dried, so it retains 200% more nutrients than kibble. You add warm water to it before you give it to your pets, so it's fresher for them. It has a much higher moisture content. Again, positively impacts digestive health. We add supplements like the immune-supporting Coriolis versicolor mushroom and mineral-rich antler powder to it. And it's just really great food. 1 pound of it. So like for the dog, it comes in a 1 pound bag. This makes 5 pounds of fresh food. So this is really great for your pet, if either as a meal replacement, or some people just use it as a topper. They just mix it with the food that they currently have, or they mix it with the Sequoia food, or they give it to them in addition to it, just to give them more variety in their diets, which is why I really like that we have the different types of treats, is we can give them some variety. That's what they're used to out in the wild. That's what they've ancestrally experienced. So it's more natural for their systems to have that variety in their diet. But reach out to Diana, seriously, for that consultation, because you will be shocked when you start learning what's in the foods and what the industry has gotten away with for many, many decades, where they've been making all these little compromises and exchanging quality ingredients for fillers little by little. But this compounded over decades has gotten to the point where it's not even considered food anymore.
So there's a couple of fun facts. Not that they're good facts, they're fun facts. 95% of all pet food is made by Mars, Smuckers, and Nestle. What do they make? The other fun fact that I always love is to talk about how long, like Kristen said, the food sits on the shelves. Most foods have pesticides in them. Most foods have chemicals in them for preserving, for keeping rodents out of the bags. It's a really sad thing. I have to tell you a quick story though about our freeze-dried food. So one of our customers was mixing this up, and they were hydrating with a little bit of bone broth, low sodium. And the husband came in and went, "What smells so good for dinner?" And she goes, "Oh, this is the dog's food." And he goes, "What am I getting?" And she pointed over under the stove, and he went and smelled it. He goes, "I think I want the dog's food." It smells so delicious. It's so good. The animals love it, and it's just so good for them. And we're just really happy that we can bring to the table some really great nutritional options for our dogs. The number 1 recalled food out there is actually the number 2 highest selling food. The number 2 recalled food is the number 1 highest selling food. There's a documentary called Pet Food. Go watch it. It'll teach you a lot about food. And then also the mushroom, there's a really great documentary called Fantastic Fungi. Great way to learn about the power of mushrooms.
And also you can even go onto YouTube. There's a little video that Animal Planet put together called the 13 Worst Pet Foods. Incredibly eye-opening, because these are brands that we're all familiar with, that we've given our pets our whole lives. And when you learn what they're finding in them, it's really eye-opening and shocking.
So someone had asked about an ear infection, and ear infections can be caused by a couple things. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, let's wait on that. I wanna go to the other point. Like, I feed Miss Fluffy Muffy Purina 1 right? Because indoor advantage, because that's what she likes.
Mhm.
So I have the Sequoia, I have the freeze-dried, and I mix that in with some tuna juice and some mayonnaise and a little bit of tuna, and she'll eat a little bit of that. But she's so finicky. She just doesn't like anything. She likes kibble. That's what she seems to want to eat. That's food to her. I feed her tuna. I try to feed her chicken. She eats a little bit. So can I do that? Is that going to work just to get her a little bit? Like I'll give her, that much and she'll eat a quarter of it. Maybe it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, it is. It's better than nothing. And remember that animals, especially, they're creatures of familiarity. So it's not only the flavor, it's the consistency, it's the taste, it's the smell of it. They just get used to it. So you can actually kind of wean them onto it and get them comfortable eating a new food. You don't want to do like a cold turkey, like they were eating this, now they're eating this the next day.
Do it.
That can be shocking for them. Definitely watch 13 Worst Pet Foods.
That's great, because that's what my friend Kimberly Reck, who's been using a lot of your products, that's what she did with her kitty Ripley, who was supposed to be dead 3 years ago. And she gave him ivermectin for kitties, which is a wonderful drug to have, but you don't want to be on drugs. You want to just be on natural supplements so you don't have to take the drugs, right? So,
well, and Mike, we had the funniest video sent to us. That woman put the freeze-dried food on the counter for the cat. The cat looked at it, looked at her, and shoved it off right onto the floor.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" I said, "We're gonna keep putting it back."
Yeah.
And after about 4 or 5 days of her putting the food up on the counter, finally that cat decided when he wanted to do it, because cats are like that.
Yep.
And finally, after smelling it over and over and over, it finally went over. Now that's all the cat's eating. But it took some time because animals.
So just stick with it. I'll stick with it. I'll get her some more tuna and mayonnaise today and feed her.
And a little bit of bone broth or a little chicken broth. Make sure it's low sodium. Actually, can pump it up. But doesn't the food smell good? Did you smell it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It smells wonderful.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah. And the mush puppies, the supercharged mush puppies, are peanut butter flavored. So that's
delicious. By the way,
we've both tried.
All of the products have been tested on humans.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and
I've eaten them all.
I know you were talking the other day about sometimes you have a little bit of difficulty. Yeah, the Mojos. I'll tell you, we have a guy that's a runner.
Yeah, Barkley loves these.
In his mouth while he runs to give him the extra oomph that the liver gives him, as well as the cola.
And every dog I have given these to, like if I have some in my pocket when I'm taking Barkley on his walk, I gave him to Bugsy, little tiny elderly Chihuahua, and he not only ate them, he followed me for about a block trying to get more from me.
But it also is important that you're careful with the Mojos. They're very, very rich. If you give too many right up front, you might cause a little tiny bit of diarrhea.
Yeah, but I got to get some to his mom, and I'll caution her on that so she can try it.
Because they love them. They'll eat the whole bag, and then you'll have a little bit of a mess. Somebody asked about ear infections on people. And it's important to understand that, first of all, ear infections can be so many different things. It can be simple as ear mites. If you smell the ear and it really, really smells bad and it's black and caulky inside, those are ear mites. The ears need to be cleaned with an ear mite solution. There are so many things that cause ear infections, but let's treat it from the outside in, and let's treat it from the inside out. By putting the animal on either super sauce or Corliss versicolor, you're going to start treating it from the inside out. But then you also want to clean the ears, clean them well as you can use some essential oils. We had one woman yesterday that was talking about her cat getting all bit up by chiggers around her ears, and bugs were going in her cat's ears. Well, we found out that the ears were filled with wax and filled with ear mites, so that was like food for the chiggers and the fleas. But as soon as she got that out and used some essential oils that repel, like rosemary and peppermint, and safe for the cat, she was able to get this under control. So a little bit of two different things need to happen there.
I would definitely, though, right away get on the Coriolis versicolor. Yes. The super sauce seems to work really well. I've had multiple dogs that have these never-ending ear infections. So they'll get it, it'll go away, it'll come back 2-3 months later, over and over and over for years. We get them on this super sauce, and they don't never have another ear infection ever again.
And I've
seen that multiple times.
Tracks also will go away. It's kind of amazing. I have a white dog who has beautiful, beautiful white hair, and everybody says, "What do you do to keep those tracks from happening?" He's never
Yeah,
had.
Miss Fluffy, if he gets ear goo or eye goo in the corners every day, and every day
Well,
Dad cleans them. Yeah.
That's actually pretty normal, just like us. So you just want to wipe it out with, I just use a little cotton ball with some water on it and wipe them off every day. But
Yeah.
no tracks down the face because it's not an allergy
It's
issue.
the two greatest inventions in human history. Okay, Q-tips and yoga pants.
Yeah.
All right, ladies.
100%.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up here?
Yeah, to order the product, you're going to go to MikeBaraPets.com and you're going to go to shop now and then pick dog, cat, horse, or human. There is a big page that comes up with our most popular items, but that's not all that we have. So go to dog, cat, human. And, Mike, we do appreciate your love for animals. I know you're out there sharing these products because you're seeing some results, and we want to keep Barkley and Miss Fluffy Muffy around a long time. And that's important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. And here's the MikeBaraPets landing spot. It's got all the different products. If you hit the shop now section, it will divide you up into for dogs. They've got all the mush puppies and all the super sauces and the mojos, which we've talked about today, the deer antler, all that stuff. And the cats tab, same thing for the various cat products. And for horses, we know a lot of people love their horses, and then of course for humans. So,
and someone had asked if we have cat food like dogs. Yes, we have kibble and we have freeze dried. We have both for cats.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have kibble. Yeah, maybe we should bring some kibble over for Miss Fluffy Muffy.
Yeah.
We will try that. Well, the thing is, all three kitties eat from the same bowls. That's fine. And Barkley steals it sometimes, but yeah, we will do that. So it's
at least Barkley isn't eating from the litter box, which we happen sometimes with dogs.
Well, that has happened in the past.
That means he needs minerals.
Yeah, it's like oysters to them. Sometimes the dogs love it.
So yeah, we do have cat food just like we have dog food. So.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you. I hope you have a fabulous birthday tomorrow. Any special plans?
No, I actually went to a concert on Saturday. I went to see Collective Soul at the Palms with a friend, producer friend of mine, Victoria from the Y-Files. We had a great time, and that was really fun. So I did that, and we'll see. We'll see if I get out tomorrow night. It just depends on. I'm waiting to hear from a couple people about things, and if not, I'll sit at home and drink heavily. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, be safe, whatever you do.
Yeah, no, I actually, I really can't drink or anything because I am on antibiotics. I want that to take full effect. I'm trying to get everything healthy, so probably be a fairly quiet night tomorrow. But I do appreciate it.
I want to address something you said. You were going to wait until you got off the antibiotics to get on our product. You don't have to wait. I like that you're doing that because then you're going to be able to really tell what's helping. But in the case of there are no medical interactions.
I know that, but I just want to be able to say clean break, clean marker. There we go. And that'll be. I'm done tomorrow, so it'll be Saturday. I'll be starting on the new regimen with the two products, the Coriolis versicolor mushrooms, 4 of those a day for me.
Yep.
And then the Restore, which I'm looking forward to getting a little help. Liver, pancreas, that's great. I want to get those things healthy. I want to get my liver healthy so I can drink a lot more.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, when I got done with my chemo, they found a spot on my liver. And the doctor said, look, you've been through so much. We're going to give it 3 months. I immediately went on the Restore. 3 months later, I went in for the scan. The spot was gone.
Yep.
So
there we go. All right. Diana and Kristen, great to have you here. I appreciate you so much. And guys, get over to MikeBaraPets.com and pick up this stuff for your dog, your cat, your horse, or yourself. And come back and let us know. I've been hearing great things from everybody who's been taking them. And like I say, Barkley goes nuts for the mojos and the mush puppies. The mush puppies, I kind of have to coax him, but he's a dog and he usually eats it within 5 minutes. So sometimes I'll give it to him and I'll be like, where's my mojos? I want my mojos. I don't want these. I want my mojos. So then I have to say, look, dog, this is your treat. So here you go.
Good taste.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
Mike, thanks for your time.
And thank you guys for being here. Okay.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.